This is the Race Communiqué with Luke Durbridge, Tom Southam, and me, Mitch Docker. Brought to you exclusively by Training Peaks and our friends at MAP.
Hello, Southam. Here he is. Hey, a breath of fresh air for you, mate. I'm right here on your rest day just to wake you up, get you involved.
That's it, mate. That's it. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for the chat. I look forward to it.
Sure you have. Yeah, look at the weather there. It's cracking. What a great morning.
It's not bad. It's not bad. No. We've actually lucked out. We've got so our rest day hotel is a Château, which we've got exclusively to ourselves with the pool. There's no other guests. It's pretty cool. We must be in ASO's good books. So
that's what the whole Tour de France is like. That's what everyone imagines it's like. What's the reality though? How many times are you getting in a place like that?
The reality is it's 2 hours away from the TT tomorrow. So we've got a map. We've got like the staff leaving at 6 a.m. with the truck to go and get ready. Riders up, leaving the hotel at 8:30. So like it's like they give and take away. But the general level's pretty good at the hotels, I would say. I know there was a lot of complaints on the last rest day, but ours was tip top. So
it's worth it. If you're going to get a hotel that's further away, you want it on the rest day. You want to wake up in a nice hotel to absorb all that. And going to a TT, yeah, okay, it's annoying 2 hours, but it's a TT. Unless you're like, Remco, going for it. Asgreen maybe. But yeah. Mate, just quickly, how are you?
Yeah, good. Getting there, It's been a strange one. Like there's been quite a bit of head scratching this week, the second week. Lot changing. Hasn't quite gone our way yet, but getting there, man.
Well, thanks for joining me. Of course, guys, this is the Race Communiqué. We're joining Tom Southam here, Sports Director, EF EasyPost, on the second rest day of the Tour de France. This series is a Live from the Peloton show brought to you by MAP, but exclusively being brought to you by our partner, Training Peaks. And we alluded to it last week. Lots of good files getting uploaded again this week because Training Peaks is the gold standard when it comes to endurance training software for cyclists, both inside and outside the World Tour, but especially in the Tour de France at the moment. Thanks to Training Peaks for being a partner here at the Race Communiqué. And if you guys want to get involved, get across to trainingpeaks.com/LITP for a further 20% off your premium subscription. And maybe join Durbo and I on the Monday after Tour de France. Jokes for the Training Peaks virtual. We'll find a time when Durbo can join me on that. Where is Durbo today?
Good luck finding Durbo. You know what? Like I've not seen him once this race. Normally I see him a little bit, I think, because I've been in the breaks in the mountains instead of going around the groups, but I haven't seen him at the start. I haven't seen him, and no, I don't see him this morning either. Still missing. MIA. Is he even here? Question. Anyone seen Durbo?
Where's Durbo? That should be the new T-shirt.
You know what I've actually found difficult until he won the stage was Maro Schmidt in the normal Jayco jersey.
Yeah.
That's been like...
I didn't barely recognize him in the Peloton. Like even when I was watching that race, I was like, oh, who's that guy?
Even when he was sprinting with Tejada, I'm like, oh, who's this guy?
Is that Ackerman? Jeez, he's climbing well. Guys, I'll give everyone a quick update. I know everyone's been watching, but I like to run through what's been going on just in case you forgot. Stage 10, of course, after the rest day, Trek off the bat kept things in control because you've got to remember Mads Pedersen is here to get the green jersey and 15K to go after the immediate. Kept it in control for that immediate. But look, fast forward, 15K to go. Pogačar in yellow goes. No one can follow him. He catches Carapaz, who was up the road, takes him on the last climb. He'd been in the break all day, but he pushes on and he goes visibly deep, Pogačar, on this stage, and he takes revenge from the 2024 when Jonas took that stage. So Pogačar actually said this in the interview afterwards. Yeah, I wanted this back. This was something that he remembered from 2024. So that was when Jonas beat him in that final little kick to the finish. And you could see he'd gone deep that first day after the rest day. Stage 11 was a sprinter stage and new fastest stage. No surprises here because the Peloton's going so fast. They recorded the new fastest road stage in the Tour de France. I couldn't believe the old record was from 1999. Stage 4, 1999, they broke it from. I was
That's quite
really surprised.
It's quite fast on like 120 psi with the 21 mil
Box,
tires are.
box rims. Yeah. You would have been on like a C40, great bike, but not known for its aerodynamics on the flats. Imagine how fast they were going.
Flappy
Flappy jerseys. It's just crazy. Look, it was a sprint stage. 4 riders go up the road. It was controlled straight away. NSN, Quickstep, Astana, Uno X. NSN went early in the final, really early, but it was Case Bowler who hit out with 500 meters to go. No one follows. He gets this gap, and then he provides this perfect launch pad for Soren Warren Skull from Uno X, who hits out with 350. It's like a leapfrogs into the slipstream, leapfrogs around him. The sprinters catch him just on the line. It was a great finish. Olive Coy is second. Philipsen is in third. The next day, we go stage 12 is another sprint stage. Some smaller hills at the finish. So this provided a few little launch pads, and maybe it was going to be tough for the sprinters to get there, and Trek wanted to make it tough. 20K to go. They went. Simmons, Vacek, really, they didn't just ride on the front. They were actually attacking to make it tough, but none of the sprinters were getting dropped, despite a really good lead out from Alpecin Premier Tech. Inside the last K, they were there with 4 guys. Merlier just comes again from nowhere. He had one rider there. Who am I thinking of? His lead out man, Southam, help me.
Sturven.
I've forgotten him. Sturven was there, but it's Jasper Sturven. Sorry, I was going to say Jasper Philipsen, but it was Jasper Sturven was trying to lead him out. He just did his lead out early. And Merlier, he comes. Bang. He just shows how fast he is. He's just in form. He's got the confidence. He doesn't need the perfect lead out. He can just do it. Coy and Philipsen again in second and third, respectively. Stage 13, Southam. Oh, the mega break is on. He called it a long time before the break formed. But when it did, Mads Pedersen, he missed it. So Trek went on the chase. Finally, yes, Southam?
This is a double mega break, because there was a mega break, and then the mega break comes across to the mega break, and then we had a double mega break, 57 rider peloton. It's just like, okay, the race started again.
Hey, you picked this. You absolutely picked this before we went there. You said this is going to be the mega break tour, and we've already seen a few in the race. Maybe not as mega, but this is a proper mega break. 56 riders, half the peloton, practically. Look, the group whittled down to about 10. And then Tejada attacked. Schmidt went over the top of him. Those two got away, and Schmidt beat him in the sprint. The big move of the day, though, was Pidcock, who moved from 10th to 4th on GC. Even though it seemed like he was going for the stage, there was a silver lining. He moved right back up into the GC. Stage 14, this was Carapaz again. EF's Carapaz was on the move this week, looking good, but UAE kept everything on a tight leash this day. And when they hit the bike path, Sexas and Lipowitz, they decided to try their luck, forcing the hand of Jonas here. This was cool because Pogačar just waited. He goes, mate, they're in no danger of me. You chase. So Sepp Kuss went on the front. He did what he could, but then Jonas tried to pull. Jonas went. He closed the gap. Pog just followed, picking his nose, having something to drink. Until then, he couldn't wait anymore. 1.6K to go. The top of the Calder Hug, he went. Put a 22-second gap by the top in that last K and a half. Extended it to 43 seconds by the end, and that was just a small descent to the end. And look, stage 15, Jonas is out. Quinn Simmons was on the move. Pidcock trying to sneak ahead again. But Remco bags a mountaintop finish. So, look, that has brought us into the second rest day. Southam, there's a few questions out of that I want to get into. But just quickly, have I missed anything on that quick little wrap-up there? What are some things that stood out to you this week?
I think it was pretty comprehensive. I mean, obviously, yesterday was pretty race changing day. I think that like changes the race significantly because Visma's been playing a role in making the outcome as it is, you know. So basically, we were getting a lot of GC days based on the actions they were doing to push the race forward and stretch UAE, which or like Jonas pulling on the climb 3.5K behind Richie. So that's gonna change the race a fair bit significantly. Not necessarily for the better. Certainly in terms of the GC battle. I think it would have been I think it's almost kind of like, oh, what now? Because that was already, I mean, it was open, but there was like this small chance that maybe, you know, with stages like going more and more climbing stages, there was like Jonas was going to come back, win a stage. There was going to be a bit more of a fight because maybe there was some weakness, but now we'll never know. That shifted things, majorly shifted things. Nothing else you missed. You know, that's a pretty good wrap up, that, Mitch. I like it. Snappy too.
All right, I've got 5 questions for you. I thought I'd just sort of change things up a bit here. Question 1 is EF Carapaz, the frustration. Stage 10, so close. Stage 14, so close again. It seems like he's in the right form. He's getting things right, but what can he do here? Take me inside the team here. What's the level of frustration here? Is it like that? Is it like, no, let's just keep going. This final week suits us. A lot of climbing here. Take me inside that whole scenario of Carapaz.
I mean, obviously, like, it would have been much better had it worked out on any occasion, but you can't really dwell, or we try not to as a group, dwell on what other teams are doing. You know, like there's frustration. I mean, yesterday there was like the boss of the team and some DSs basically yelling at each other, not ours, but like yelling at each other at the top of the mountain in the park in there about each other's tactics. But everyone's racing, right?
You're kidding?
Yeah. No, it's quite funny.
What, within the team or across teams?
Across teams.
Oh, nice.
But like you can sense there are frustrations within, you know, because people are looking at what's left and what there is to win. And we're kind of like, we're getting in each other's way. Like even like, I mean, imagine yesterday we missed the break and we closed it. And there's plenty of teams who would have been like, fuck's sakes, EF missed it and then they closed it. Like that's our race. So you can't let yourself get sidetracked by getting frustrated by people racing, you know? So the way to keep the ship going in the right direction is to keep doing what you know is the right thing, which is to get the right guys into the break. If that break gets into a winning position, you're going to get across the line. If it doesn't, that's not your fault. So take the positives from it. I think we've certainly taken a lot of positives from it, and it's like that can kind of sound a little bit bullshit, like, oh no, everything's great, but like, there's not you can't blame Richie for not trying hard enough or, you know, not pushing hard. I mean, he's given it a red hot crack.
Now, is it an element that, you know, Ben Healy's not on the form that he was last year? You're missing a guy like the truck in there. Is that been an element of the success of the breakaways this year?
I don't think we've got the makeup of the team wrong, or that we've got the wrong guys here. Actually, we've got a super strong team that's doing really well. Obviously, Ben suffered in the first part of the race a lot with the heat and hasn't been, you know, where he was this time last year.
12 months ago. Yeah.
I mean, you're not always going to be there. I mean, that was exceptional. Stage win, yellow jersey, 9th on GC. It's not going to happen every year if you're an attacking rider or a rider like him. I don't think that would have flipped the ratio of success for the breakaways. You know, it's not one individual. It's the collective, the way the race is going.
On that note, let's talk about one successful breakaway, the mega break that happened on stage 13 was Mario Schmidt. And we've got word from inside the camp. He is a guy that did feature on this podcast every so often. Turbo. Where's Turbo?
Occasional guest.
Yeah, occasional guest. Should we get our guest? I've heard from a guest, this guy, Luke Durbridge. Let's hear from him.
Second week, crazy. super fast. And just, I think the days that the brakes are not going are just so insanely fast because everyone's so desperate to get in them. And I'm getting through. It's one of those things, you're at the level, but not necessarily at the level to get in these breakaways, because you have to be, a classic winner or a world champion or a Grand Tour winner, more or less. But I've just been supporting the guys to get in the breaks, so it hasn't been too bad. But yeah, trying to soak it all up, that's for sure. Anyway, a little insight into Mauro's win. the plan was to have Mauro, Ben, Plappy, Bling in that breakaway, but to get those combinations quite difficult. And Mauro is so good at the start being active, and Mauro's so good at the start to cover the first couple of moves because he's so punchy. But Plappy and Ben needed a little while to sort of work into it. So you sort of strategically split your numbers. So that's why Mauro was in the first group of 30 that went off the front. But then there's about 40K in, Ben, Plappy, and Bling all got in that next move, which rode across, which then eventually turned into, a great tactic for us. And it was an amazing team ride because having Bling in the group behind and having Plappy swap off as well and just, block the road and Ben paced on the climb. So, yeah, all in all, it was just an amazing team ride. And I think that's the thing. To get a stage win at the Tour de France, you need that unless you are Pogacar or one of the crazy best riders. And Mauro was just finished it off. And, probably one of the insights there, he rode like a 58, which is crazy. And if you look at the average speed of his last 15K, which was 57 Ks an hour, having a 58 on your road bike is a bit ridiculous, but you can see it's needed, and he obviously had planned this, and he was getting better and better every day. And you could just see him up and about, and the confidence just he was racing with. Prior to that, you're thinking, something's going to happen, So, and he looked happy and having fun, and as Simon Yates say, you never see an unhappy bike rider win a bike race. So, so that worked out well, and look, it's been amazing for the team, and we're looking forward to the second week, and we're just trying to soak up these next couple of days and recover. It's easy day tomorrow, hopefully, for the time trial, and then we're into the last week. Cheers, mate.
Look, Southam, any surprising thoughts there from hearing from inside Durbo's camp? He gave us a bit of inside knowledge there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, they did a really good job to get the three other guys across. A lot of teams would have stopped with the situation as it was. There was Uno X and Trek who'd missed it initially, who were trying to repair and they couldn't do it, and then eventually, just as everyone thought it was gone, it fired off. And we had Casper in that group with them, and we basically had to tell him don't pull, because if those guys get there, I knew instantly Jaco had a plan and were up for it, and it was going to be a problem later on with Matthews. I mean, that was the ideal combination.
Perfect combo.
So
yeah.
I mean, hats off to him for keeping racing from behind, getting there, and then, getting that opportunistic stage win. Good on him.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was pretty interesting to hear Amara's words after the line, because I felt it too. 50 meters, in that first 50 meters of that sprint, I thought he'd effed it. Tejada took off. I was like, oh, he's left it too late here. So, I think everyone thought, even the commentators, maybe himself, that, he had it wrapped up. He was always going to beat Tejada in the sprint. But at the end of a stage
had to get that gear going, didn't he? Had to get
Yeah.
the 58 turn. It takes a while.
Had to get the 58 going. I know. All right. Well, a couple of guys who've been trying to get the 58 going is this green jersey battle. I think this is really interesting this year. Look, Trek have gone about it a bit of a different way. I feel like Pedersen, the question for me is, why is he pushing on so hard after the intermediates? It's clear he's here for the green jersey. Why is he not pulling the ripcord earlier? He's going to have his work cut out for him. I think he's made it harder than he needs to, says me, Couch Peloton here. But, when I look through the next stages, 17, it's too hard unless he goes in the break. It's 147K before you get to the sprint. 18, 129K before the sprint. Stage 19, 89K before the sprint. He has to go on the brakes. Stage 20, he's got to get over a horse category climb before he hits the sprint at 66K. Pretty much impossible for him to get a sprint this week. Stage 21, at the moment, they're 29 points difference. There is a sprint after 72K in the final on the last stage. And then the difference in points, first is 70 points, second is 50. There's a 20-point gap there. Third is 40. Pedersen in the sprints has been has been finishing a fair way back in the bunch kicks. Arguably, though, the last stage suits him more than it does Philipsen. So for me, I feel like, yeah, it's actually a great battle, this one. And I'm glad that Philipsen's kept going on with it.
It's been good. But I think it's wrapped up, honestly. I think so that if Trek continue with those tactics, there's only one more like sprint stage, which isn't a straightforward sprint stage. There's a lot of teams that haven't won that will want to be in the break. Merlier went home yesterday, which means Quickstep won't pull anymore. So that leaves it all in basically Alpecin's hands to try and get a bunch sprint with 120 riders all attacking. So could be tough for them to manage, because you saw the other day Trek flipped it and they went on the offensive at the end of that sprint stage with Pedersen. So yeah, I think they will probably go on the offensive. They're not scared to do that. It should be I think it's wrapped up, but it's going to keep going, because nothing's finished until it's finished, is it? I think the sprinters might be a little bit nervous about time cut, honestly, the speed that the race is going. Obviously the time cut expands up, as the race goes faster, but then at a certain point it just stops at 20% and never gets any bigger. So yeah, let's see.
Well, that's why we got you on the inside. That's why sitting at home, you don't really know anything. So it's a good little bit of inside knowledge there. Question 3 for me is Quinn Simmons. What could he have done if he wasn't there working for Pedersen?
Worked for a user, maybe. I mean,
I never thought he could climb that well.
No. I feel like Ayuso's been a little bit on the back burner when they've done because they've been so busy with the Green Jersey project. But I think if Pedersen wasn't there, he would have been fully dedicated to working for Ayuso, who's obviously in the hunt for the white jersey. Good GC place, first Tour de France. I mean, he's not a guy who wins a lot, but he changes races a lot. He's the way cycling's going with people basically being able to go from the start all the way to the finish. Even in a race like Lombardy, even in a race like Liège now, you can't discount someone going off at 700 watts for a minute at the start of the race and still being good enough at the end to play a role. Doesn't mean that those guys are going to win very many races, but they're certainly going to dictate how they go because they're strong and they keep racing all day. So I think he would have still not got much leash because of the way he races so aggressively, but I think probably would have gone more towards helping.
I think that's a really good point what you said there, is that he hasn't won much considering the strength that he has. And that move is pretty obvious by him going on the second last climb, why he needed to do that yesterday. He got caught, then he was attacking again. The comment was that, he should have just waited there with Adam Yates, sitting there pretty, he didn't have to pull, Pidcock's pulling, save his energy as a race winner and go, cool, I need to put all my eggs in this last basket. He said it himself, he needed all the energy he could to hold off Pog on the final climb. So why is he attacking, just to gain 10 seconds on the second last climb? But for you, what you just pointed out then was he's a rider who hasn't won that much, and that's just maybe lack of experience or the way that he races that aggressive style and just wants to press go the whole time.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to do the Mauro Schmidt maneuver, lose the national champs jersey that makes him such an obvious target, and then just blend into Trek. How long would it take us? I mean, he's got the hairdo and stuff, but he would get, at least a couple of races where he's under the radar for a bit, a couple of days.
So that shit. Listen up, Quinn. Southam, great idea. What about yesterday? This is something, I could be wrong saying this. Pogi. Did Pogi gift the win to Remco yesterday? Yes, he was there working for Del Toro, but I seem to think that if it was down to the line, there was anyone else on his wheel, Pog could have come around. And why would he be gifting a win to Remco? That's the question.
I don't know if he could come around. I mean, Remco's not super slow. And he looked pretty good on the climb. I think.
No, but if it was Jonas, kicking like that, would he have not just come around? Is there something there? Am I reading into something?
Jonas has beaten him before in a sprint finish. You know what I mean? It has happened. It does happen. I like to think that it wasn't. I mean, it's win-win, right? You sprint and you lose, and everyone says he gave it away, and so it's like he can't lose in that situation. So I reckon, having seen how he's raced, I don't think he was just rolling over, giving it up.
Yeah. And it's good. On a positive note, Remco looked good. And this
Yeah.
leads me into my last question is, look, Vingegaard's crash, it was I guess, what's the word on the inside? What's the fault here? Like, they're talking about the motorbike, they're talking about the course, his wheels slipped out. Have you heard anything at the 2 a.m. drug test? What's the word on the street? What have you heard about
I mean, it
this?
raised our eyebrows hearing about the middle of the night controls, but obviously, if they can happen, they can happen. At the start, I saw the interviews, and you saw quite different reactions between Vingegaard and Pogačar. Obviously, Vingegaard was more unsettled by it. Pogačar much less so. You never know if that had any sort of impact on what happened in the race. I mean, the fact of the matter was, going around that bend at that speed and missing the turn, which was it was a roundabout, then it was a hard right, but they went through and did a little
Island, yeah.
chicane, which cost him, and the brake had passed it. We didn't know exactly what that looked like, but we knew that town was super technical. So coming in at that speed, I mean, the rider's obviously trying to slipstream the motorbike to get as much speed as they can, which pushes the motorbike to go faster, which means that there's less reaction time for the motorbike driver. So, I mean, everyone's contributing. Ultimately, the speed was too high for that bend, taken that way. The brake made it through okay. It wasn't a nice piece of road furniture. And it's the results, like the worst case scenario. Nobody wanted Vingegaard to go home, doesn't deserve to go home. He's at least the second best rider in the race, should be fighting for the win on the podium. So it's a shame, but I don't think you can point fingers at the motorbike driver. Certainly, I think it is difficult. It's busy in the race.
I'm happy to point fingers at WADA. I'm happy to do that because, why is anyone needing to test at 2 a.m.? What is the need of that?
So if there was, and I've got no idea about this, but if there was something you could take at midnight, and you knew you weren't getting tested until 6, and it stayed there for that long, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's getting too much. In the middle of a grand tour.
Yeah, but then you make an example. You make an example of we're not afraid to come and check whoever, whenever. It's a shame for the riders. I get that. Nobody wants it, but by the same token, it's if
was it blood and urine? Blood and urine.
No idea.
Don't know.
No. So
yeah, The question is, for me, with Remco moving like that, and it's all hearsay because Jonas wasn't in the race anymore, realistically, was Jonas really just fighting to hang on to second? Because, the Calderhag, the pull there wasn't enough for him to damage Pogačar. It wasn't even nearly enough. The way Remco was moving yesterday, going into the TT, I reckon there was, it's all hearsay now, but the Giro, it's a tough double. It doesn't seem like he was bouncing in, and with the last week here, I feel like he was only going to get more fatigues. But arguably, what you're saying is that the last week potentially would have suited Jonas more than ever.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Remco looked really good yesterday, but on other stages, he's not looked anywhere as good as Jonas. So it could have been that he'd come in freshened up. I mean, we're just, like you said, we're just never going to know. But,
what was your top 3 before we came into this?
I had Pog, Vingegaard, Del Toro. So I'm basically going to collect my prize money now. So you could say thank you very much.
Oh no, I can't get it. Yeah, no, sexist.
I know I had Raul Garcia Piena, and he's dropped off the GC.
Race isn't over, mate.
He rode well the first stages. He's strong.
All right. I'll stop all the hard questions on you, Southam. I can feel I'm putting the pressure on you here. Being on the race, it's a bit of a different scenario. Me just sitting back here, I can ask the hard questions and throw people under the bus.
Throwing hand
Not
grenades.
I am throwing hand grenades. I am. Durbo's lucky that he's missed this
That's why
one.
Turbo refused to come on. Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
not here.
Well, let's look at the
Yes.
last week. It is a big last week. I got a question here. I don't know if I've got the stats right because it doesn't seem right. But look, the TT tomorrow is a 26K time trial. They've got 470 meters of altitude in it. So there is a bit of a climb in the middle of it. I'm picking, the idea here is we'll quickly run through these stages, pick a winner. For me, I'm going for Remco. The way he was moving yesterday, he's a time trialist. He's a light time trialist. He likes a climb. He's good even on the flat, but with a climb in it, he's even better. Southam, any word on tomorrow's TT? It's a category 2 climb in the middle of the TT. Who's going to win tomorrow?
I'm gonna back the same horse as you, mate. I think double borer stage. There's still plenty of scrap on with climbs coming for Remco. Needs to make as much time as possible. So
Well, I think the next stage there is probably the one you're indicating, stage 17. They're heading out of Chambéry to Vorion. I reckon it's going to be a break stage. You reckon it's probably a sprinter's stage. I think, you don't reckon, what do you reckon it's going to be?
I reckon it's gonna be full on break stage.
Yeah, full on break stage. That's what I reckon too. It's 2,300 meters of climbing, 175K. I'm picking Simmons, Ruffy, Pedersen.
Simmering Simmons. Yeah, okay. So a break rider who can finish fast.
It's a bit of a kick to the finish. Put it on you. What about
Yeah.
Valgren?
Could be good. I mean, he was in the break the other day. Could get someone like a Campenarts as well, freed of the whole Visma thing. They're going to want to like go on a revenge spree, I guess.
He's pretty
Could see
fast in
him.
the sprint.
Yeah.
Stage 18, they're heading out of Vorion. They're heading out. It's a big day this day. It's 4,000 meters of climbing, 185K. I just can't look past Pog on this day. Finish up a category 1 into Merrillet. Southam, any insight for this? This is on Thursday. It's a big stage. It's just getting bigger from here on in.
All I'm going to say is I'm going to pick Carapaz for all the rest of these stages. So
I've got Carapaz down, but not this stage. But okay, Carapaz for stage 18. All right.
18, 19, and 20. All of them.
Well, you tell me about stage 19. Gap to Alpe d'Huez, first time up Alpe d'Huez.
That one, I think Pog's going to want at least one of the Alpe d'Huezes in the yellow jersey in the Tour. At least one of them. And I would say this is the traditional side. So I reckon that's like
the front side or the
not up the back side. Just the next day.
Straight through the front door. Pogi, that is 3,500 meters of climbing on Friday. This is the question for you. Saturday, is this right? Stage 20, 170K, 5,600 meters of climbing, 3 horse category climbs, qualifier, Telegraph is a category 1, Galibier, and then up the backside of the Alpe d'Huez. This is, for me, Carapaz country. I'm picking him. Carapaz all the way.
Yep. Double back him. It's a massive day. It's a huge day.
Is that right?
Tour.
Is it 5.5 or 5.6?
I can't see it right now. I can't remember.
It seems too much. In that amount of Ks, it seems too much. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's also ridiculous averaging 49.9 Ks an hour on a stage with a Ballon d'Alsace in it. So do you know we worked out so I think 20th place is already more or less at 1 hour, right? So if you think about the average speed's 44, that's actually like, if you put it in road terms, they're 44 kilometers behind Pog, Jai Hindley in like 23rd place.
Well, I was looking at Bernal. Bernal's the leading rider for Net Company Ineos. He's mid-teens or maybe 20th. He's like 30 minutes behind too. It's ridiculous. I'm like, what the hell? I was at maybe Bernal for stage 20, but he hasn't shown much.
No, I wouldn't back that.
Stage
It's all
21.
Carapaz.
Let's go to the last stage.
Carapaz.
The Montmartre. 3 times Montmartre. This is your favourite, Durbo and yours favourite stage. I'm not necessarily a fan. You guys are big fans of this stage, I heard. I'm picking Pedersen. Even though I shit canned him earlier on, I reckon he's going to be good for this stage. This is, without Van Aert, this is Pedersen. I'm actually really looking forward to this stage. I can't wait. I'm so glad they changed this to stage 21.
I think if it's dry this year, I would like to see, when we obviously saw it in the wet last year, and it was like not everybody raced, so it's a little bit of a strange one. I like to see it in the dry. Yeah, so let's see. But I think it suits a classics rider. Van Aert last year, Pedersen could be a good pick in the green
Who else
jersey.
are you going to go for? You've been riding on the back of me the whole time. Give me some insight. Who's someone we're overlooking?
I can't think of any cyclists in the Tour de France anymore, apart from Quinn Simmons and Mads Pedersen, because the people we've been talking about. I can't even remember who's in the race. Mauro Schmidt's here. I know that.
Falgren.
Yeah. Just chuck one of those in.
All right. Well, look, he's made time for us on the rest day. He's sitting about to have breakfast. Southam, thanks again. We'll get our guest, Luke Durbridge, back for our normal catch-up next week. Can't believe we're even saying that. The tour will be over. Have a great time the last week, mate. Thanks very much for this morning.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
See you guys. Big thanks to our partners here, Training Peaks and MAP, of course. And we will see you guys next week. Enjoy the last week of the tour.